Here with a new live video. We're just trying to find myself here, make sure I'm live. There he is. Okay. So you can tell by the title, today we're going to be practicing. Forgot to turn off my volume. Perfect. Okay. So today we're going to be doing something with Coin Magic. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be going through the different types of coins that I have, and then we're just going to start doing moves. We're just going to be practicing moves. You can join us along, join along with us, and pretty much anything you have any further questions on, I will tell you right away where I learned them from. That way you guys can go look at the original source material, maybe get a little bit of more in-depth detail on it. Okay, here we go. So what I have is these are my personal favorites. These are my Super Mario mint coins. Now, these are one of two different designs that I've managed to locate, but I haven't been able to find any of the other ones. I could buy them. But they come in the Wonder Ball packs. That's it, Wonder Ball. Now, this is the red version, and there is actually a green version, which is minted. And those are the ones that I want, but I'd have to order a box of them. So these ones just have this really good sticker on the back, but these are heavy-duty coins. I mean, we're talking, here's a dollar, right? Morgan dollar. And this is slightly bigger and a little bit chunkier, thicker than that one. So for my hands, I mean, come on. These are perfect. And they're Super Mario coins. They look great. They feel great. Great way to go. So I definitely recommend, if you're into Coin Magic and you want something that's just a little bit more off the beaten path, just look for some minted coins. There's actually some sports-related minted coins as well that you could pick up, and that could be great for any type of event like that. So just something to keep your eye on. So these are, I love them. So we'll do some magic with those in a little bit. We're going to practice some magic anyway. Now this is actually one of the limited edition ones. This is Peach, and there's two of them, I believe, in the red pack where the coin is a different color. So it's a good switch out coin if you're interested. You could either probably buy the set online, or you can do the Wonder Ball, and then that's a fun little thing that you can do. So I've got my Morgan dollars, of course. Now these ones, I have two sets. I'm not sure where the other ones are at the moment. They do have a little bit of extra to them, and that's something that we will be talking about in a little bit. It's a great way to have a coin simply vanish, and that's a beautiful thing. If you got some, we'll talk about them later. That way, anybody who doesn't want to stick around isn't learning any magic secrets. Anyway, back to it. So I do have a couple of gold dollars. These are tiny. I mean, I think I have a quarter right here, and they are slightly larger than the quarter. Now, something to keep in mind is that you're going to want to practice with quarters, at least in the US. I don't have, I did have a Mexican centavo that was a part of another Coin Magic set, but I'm not sure where that's at the moment. But that's the only coin that I had that was not US currency. So I like to practice with the quarter, because if you're going to be doing magic on the street and you want to borrow coins, the quarter is probably going to be one of the most common ones that you're going to have. So definitely recommend practicing with it. My problem with the quarter is it's just so tiny. It's just so tiny. My finger is bigger than the quarter. So I practice so much with the bigger coins that it just overshadows it. So I like the gold dollars, though, because they're a good change out, especially for the half dollar. So they're slightly smaller, but they're a different color, so there's a contrast there if you wanted to do some switching coin tricks. So something to consider there. Just some gold dollars. They're slightly larger than a quarter, slightly smaller than the half dollar. They give you a little bit of contrast. Now this here, this is my pirate coin from Copeland. So it's a beautiful coin. Yeah, beautiful coin. I keep it actually right here in my pocket because it's my pirate treasure. Just something to try out there. Then we have my magic coin box, which is $50 sized. So I keep my other $50 in here, and they fit snugly into there. Now I do have another, because we are exposing a little bit of magic here, I do have another magic, and this was the magic set I was talking about for the centavo. I actually haven't got it out of here in a while. There we go. So this is Scotch and Soda. So it's a $50 with a Mexican centavo. I do not know where the actual Mexican centavo that goes with this set is at the moment, but this is a beautiful trick. I just showed you earlier with these, something that you could do, but this is the idea that you're taking a very simple little effect here, and in my hand I've just vanished the centavo, and then of course you can have the Mexican centavo show up someplace else. So that is Scotch and Soda, and I will talk about the difference between that and the other coin gimmick that I did earlier, but that's why I keep these two together, because that's my extra $50 to go with that switch off. I just got to find my centavo. Now, I normally have some poker chips that are over there, but I'm not doing anything with them right now because this is my favorite poker chip effect that I have right now. And I've been actually practicing right before this live. I was practicing some of the moves that I've been doing with these, and they work great. Yeah, they absolutely look great with these. And they're lighter too, which is strange. They're bigger and they have a lower mass point, so there's like a floatiness to them, but I mean, they can disappear in the hand. They can go from here to here, and you can do a lot of different moves with them. But these are sneaky, right? And the reason why they're sneaky, and I'll just tell you, because that's what the point of this video is, it's a live practice. If you have these, you can do the normal setup like what I do, which is doing it right in the hands. If you put these together, something magical happens, and then they change colors, which is beautiful. But you can do this as part of a routine where you make them disappear one at a time, right? And then you can bring them back anytime you want. So there's one right there, one right here, okay? But I can switch them and make them be a different color. Very nice. Now that's the first part of it with a little bit of, I gotta work on the other part, because something else to talk about is a coin stack, and that's something we'll be practicing. These are thick coins to be stacking, just put it that way. But this is the alternative method, right? Because I can turn them back to black, just like that. And there isn't as much contrast with these, so what I like to do is I actually like to make one of them a different color. So that's going to be green, right? Now you take them like this, and let's take a look. Spectator A or B, whatever you're putting. Let's go ahead and open your hand for me. Okay, perfect. Now, do you prefer green or do you prefer yellow? Neither? What's your favorite color? Oh, do you like blue? Blue's good. What if you like red? And now you've changed them to different colors. So that's the press-on method, or there's this really beautiful moment where you've made them disappear. You can make this one disappear, and this is the stacking moment that I've got to practice, which that was a little bit better. It's gone, but I like the point. That's something to keep in mind with coin magic, especially with this work, is that for this particular move, it needs repetition. It needs to continue. So after I've made the second one disappear, I bring the hand forward and I point to a spectator, like, hey, let me see your hand, because that's the switch in the hand. And by putting it in the hand, we've hidden it. And even, I mean, it just looks good doing it like that. But now it's back here, but you're pointing. So you got a big move covering a small move, and you're blocking this motion right here, which is going from here to there. That's what you're blocking. You're blocking the steal move into the cover here, and I'll get into the names of those in a second. But you're covering up, you're pointing, you're picking out a spectator, because now you want to bring the coin back as a different color. Now you could either bring it back as black, which would technically be, at this point in the stage, the top and bottom would be black. But if you want them to see the actual color one, then what you would do is when you do the retrieval move, you just don't flash the top. The retrieval move looks like this, but remember, that'd be a different color. And then you put it in the hand, close and open, and it'd be a different color. And that just looks kind of, especially if they haven't seen it. And even I've done this trick for the same person 5 times in a row. And it was still amazing to them. So, a beautiful little move. I love it. So if you're in the stack, and you want to bring it back, which, let me show you how this little effect works, just in case you don't have it. So, I love magnets, and so that's why I love this thing. It's my favorite. So, you've spirited the coin away, and this is the second one. You've spirited the coin away, you're pointing at a spectator, and you're talking, you say, hey, spectator, and you're covering up that click move. Now, you reveal that it's gone. You want to bring it back, something like that. Now here's what's great. Now you could place it in your hand here, or however you want to do it. But what I would recommend for this is you toss it a little bit further forward, push this up, and you can change the color. Now if you want to do it instantaneously, here's how this would kind of look. Toss, different color. So you want to do it almost instantaneously in the hand. Make it look good, too, is really what I'm trying to get here. This is the practice portion. So this is a turnover move with the hand. That's all you're doing. But I also like to do this because that gives it like that extra oomph, right? But when you get this black one down here and you just close and open your hand, they just saw it was black. Now it's blue, and now you're ahead here because you still got the other one. Now the objective here is you can make this one reappear like under the hand or something. However you want to do it. I mean, you can do it any way that you want. Maybe you come under as you pass back. Now you've got the other one back out. Now they can effectively switch places. Oh, that one's green. Did you like green, or did you prefer a different color? Now, like I said, the way I normally perform this is I would put it into the hand, and then I would, gesture, because I need to free up my hand to gesture. But I'm really just preferring this. It's David Roth. Pretty sure David Roth. Either way, it's the retention into the hand. It's gone, and that's something I've been learning from Rick Holcomb. So you're placing it. It's based on the David Roth thing here, or is it David Regal? I do apologize. I got those mixed up earlier, and now my brain won't separate them. Pretty sure it's David Roth. So you got one in the one hand here, you got the other one here, and you're making it disappear. You can effectively do the same routine that you just did again with these. And now you come up to grab this one, give it a wave, and it's gone. Now making this disappear into the stack. Now remember, you're now in a color to color side here. So if you wanted to do it a little bit differently, then you want the black one on bottom, which means both of the color ones would have to be showing. So obviously if you went from this to this, you make it disappear. Now you've got black on the bottom. Do the wave, show that it's empty. Make this one hide. Blue showing underneath. After you've done the wave, now you're bringing it down, you're pointing. Remember, you're immediately covering up and pointing. You're getting this into your move here. You've got the magnet activated. You're talking. You're doing whatever you're doing. You've got a beautiful stack here. You've got your hand out of the way, and you're pointing. And then you just simply open that up and you're good. And now however you want to reveal that it's, you're bringing it back. But remember, you do that same move again where you toss there, and now it's a different color. And maybe you preferred red. So now the green one's gone, the blue one's gone, all that stuff. Anyway, what that basically was that was taking what I've been practicing and applying it to something that I already do that has a different effect. Now let's briefly talk about, in terms of my brain, this is a little bit of magic theory with this, the setup. Now the tricks that I've been practicing lately, I'm trying to get into a 3-fly routine in order to have a good opener coin trick. So I've been practicing a lot with 3 coins, and that's what led me to Rick Holcomb. Holcomb is the coin guy that I go with, and I can link that. And then it brought me to Lloyd Barnes, because while I was looking at Rick Holcomb stuff, I found a video from Lloyd Barnes, which he does a lot of card stuff. He had a beautiful coin routine that almost seemed like his response to Rick Holcomb's, but they're both derived from David's routine. So I applied it this was just like 5 minutes of playing around with this while I was preparing for this. I just plugged this into what I've already been doing, and it already made it. You were talking adding a vanish into the color change? That's crazy talk. Crazy. Okay. So now what that would look like in this particular practice here, and again, this is from Rick Holcomb. This is what the practice stuff looked like. And that's getting into the idea of having the coins and putting the coin into the hand, grabbing the other ones, and this is just your practice. That's all you're doing. You're just practicing that move right there. That leaves you with 2. Getting into the stack, waving, doing it again, right back into the stack, and then again, like however you want to do it. Now you're free to do that, and then it's a practice move, so you don't really need to worry about any of that. It's practicing doing the vanishes, getting into the stack, and then even if you wanted to start bringing them back, but I'm not there yet. So that's the practicing portion of that. So if you want to practice along with me, this is exactly what Rick teaches in his video. It's a matter of just making this disappear. So I'm just practicing this move. This is step 1, just practicing that. Just laying the coin down. You don't want to lean too far forward. Something I'm looking at the cameras and stuff. I've got this really bright light here. Maybe I can turn it down a little bit. That's a little better. Okay. Maybe we can see that coin a little bit better. So it's a snapback kind of move, which brings the coin back to here. You keep your finger up. You don't want to point like this or anything, but you just want to keep your finger natural, because the idea is you're going to cover with your hand. A little exposed here. That's going to block that. It's blocked. It's going to block that. You're going to dip it down, covering the flat with your index finger and holding it with your middle finger as you rotate it back, continuing to close up that hand. Now, something that I do that is a bad habit to get into is I'll try to get right into that move like that as I'm pulling back. It's not a terrible thing, and I don't know if it's because I've just been doing it so much or what, but it doesn't seem like something that you're going to want to do, especially if you don't have the table and you're standing up. Because if you're standing up, you can't dip your hand down, you can't drop it down. I mean, you could drop it down to your side like this, but it's something you really want to be careful about. So I don't know why it is that I've just naturally got into that progression of just dropping it into that edge grip. Just as I pull back, I've just been doing that. So you want to focus on both hands at once. It's like playing the piano. You really got to know what notes you're going to hit, because timing and tempo is so important. Because I'm going to talk about the fallacy of coin magic, as I call it. And I call it the fallacy. And really what that means is it's like, it might be the wrong, in my brain, that's what I call it. Because, and this is something that all coin guys will talk about, the fallacy of coin magic, to me, is this. It's vanished from the left hand, so it must be in the right hand. Right? So how do you break that? And that's kind of how you have to break expectations. So with your routines, you kind of want to make sure that you're breaking that expectation and you're really leading into another effect, which is what both Rick Holcomb and Lloyd Barnes does in their version of this, that has an ending that eliminates the coins from play. And so that really sets you up for this really beautiful moment of in sequence, because you want it to, as Rick says, you want it to be like this. So if you have multiple coins, you want to have 3 coins over here, bring this coin all the way over here, and simply make it vanish. Of course, I can't do that because I'm not really magic. I could have thrown it, but it'll just hit the wall. You know? So, I could be like, we're just going to hang this coin right up here, and the coin is now gone. Magic, right? You know, it's not real magic. You know, let's put it up here. So that's his idea. Is it's like, if you were going to do real magic, you would take the coin, completely isolate it from these, make it disappear. Now, if I really want to get fancy, it's gone. Till I clap my hands, and now it's back. That's something I've been practicing a lot lately. Practicing it a lot lately. No, it's the back palm. So I like the idea of just doing that as somewhat of an opener idea. Like, let's get a round of applause and start with some coin magic. You know, just a little fun idea, because you would want to be. You could almost start with it in the back palm. With your left side, I can't do it on my right side or my left side as well. So left side facing the audience. As you turn, you're going to get about right there for the audience, unless you're surrounded. You get about to right here, which is a good place to start clapping, especially as you come over. He's like, let's get a good round of applause as we get started. You don't actually want to tap your hands together. You're not going to actually be able to. Well, you can with a little bit of practice. But a little bit of clapping, you're moving your hands, so it's kind of blurring that, but you don't want to catch the light by going too far over this way. So as you clap, 1, 2, 3. And so that's possibly something that would be really good to start with if you wanted to produce a coin. Just thinking outside the box here. So that's something I've been thinking about. But I've been practicing the Himber count, which is done with 2 coins, and both routines that I learned from Lloyd Barnes, I can't say learned per se, that I was kind of watching in order to get some hints from, are both use not the Himber count, but like I said, there's similar principles. So the way that Rick does it is with the Himber counts. There's 1, and there's 2 and 3. That uses a Himber vanish, which I can't do very well, but I can do it well enough that I can effectively make it work. So like I said, if you want to go watch his video, we're practicing it. That's what we're doing. We're practicing it here. And in order to practice it, if you want to practice along with me, I just have to give you a little bit of instruction, which here's how it goes. You toss the coin into your hand and catch it on your pinky, and it's made it vanish. Now, if you're doing the Himber count, the point is to make 2 coins look like 3, like that. Now, the way that Lloyd does it, if you want to do it a little bit easier, is he'll drop the first coin, click the second coin, and then throw the third one, which is basically the second one again. So it does a click retention, which gives you the idea that it's in there, and then has a third coin. So those are the way they do it. It's the same idea either way, so whatever works best for you. Now here's what I like to do, because I want to show you kind of like the meat and potatoes of how I perform these 2 routines put together. So let me go through them really quickly, just so that you know kind of the idea of what we're doing. So again, And these are both taught on their channels, and I'll link them at, once I go back to edit and stuff. So you'll have 2 coins to start with, but they're showing you 3, basically. And then they're going to go through and make all 3 disappear. And then I believe, just to go through it, because I'm trying to remember here, so Rick's actually has 3 of them reappear, kind of. Then he puts them back into the case, because he has a coin wallet. Lloyd's has his going into the pockets, which is a great way to finish it. It cleans up. It's good, especially for walk around. Because if you don't have a coin wallet, or you don't use that type of style, or you're just using coins off the, you can drop them into your pockets, whatever. So the way I like to do it, and this may not be very good, but it's a good practice way to go about it because it utilizes a lot of different principles. So I kind of mashed the 2 ideas together. So let's go through them here. I'm going to try to perform it as best as I can, but I may drop the coin. So let's go ahead and do some actual practicing of magic as a full routine. So we have a 3-coin mystery, which looks something like this. Beautiful. In order to do that, what we need to do is we need to make them disappear one at a time. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. See, I don't like counting it there like that. What I would prefer to do is I'd prefer to make one of them disappear in thin air. And that'll leave us with just 2. We make the second one disappear something like that. That's the dropping of the coin that I was talking about. If you're standing up and doing that, it doesn't look as good. So we've got this coin over here, and the way that we're going to make this one disappear is in the hand. Yeah, do you see that? See that? Made it disappear right in the hand. Now to make it reappear, we have to go in reverse. Yeah, we actually have to go backwards in time. And this is where things get a little wonky, especially for sitting down. So what I like to do with that move in particular is I like to make it click when I throw it back. So that click will draw your attention to this hand because you know that there's 2 there. I kind of got out of the performance aspect because of the lag in what I'm doing here. But the click auditorily brings it back, and then the magic toss happens. Yeah, the magic toss, that there's 2 there now. Then I go right into number 3, which looks something like this. See, my ending is the same as my beginning, which I started with 3 coins and I end with 3 coins that I can clearly show. And that's a little bit different. So now what I want to do is I want to break that down into the different pieces to kind of give you the idea of what I've been practicing. And if I can get this smooth and my idea, I'm not sure why I put it in my pocket. So when I'm sitting down, what I do is I don't drop it into my pocket because that gets a little weird. When I'm sitting down, what I do is I just drop it on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And then I lose it, and then I don't have it. But that's why we got extra coins here. That's what they're there for. So basically what I try to do is, after that first one, toss it over here, click, click, over to there, and that's the last one. So I just try to lap them. So what it should look like is once I get the first one's gone, the second one's gone, you're down to the last one. This one's kind of a give me, right? Because it goes to that fallacy that I was talking about, which is simply, haha, it is vanished. Did you see that? Did you see it vanish? And they're like, it's in the other hand. Well, that's okay. We can just do it in reverse, make it disappear, reappear. Now, if I really wanted to, I could make it vanish differently than that. You could do the Himber Vanish to get it into your hand, and then maybe lap it again. But I like the idea of leaving the coin in the hand so you can effectively make this one vanish. And then before they really get to like, oh, it's in the other hand, before the fallacy, you say you just do it in reverse. And then just make that coin pop right back out before they get a chance. And if they do say it, you're just like, that's a good thought. Or however you want to play it off, but use it as part of the joke because it's the one coin. Now you're just going to go backwards. And in this way, let's start at the beginning. to break it down to the different moves that you can practice. So the first thing you want to do, perfect little display, throwing it to the hand. Now, why is this something that's so important? Well, because it goes from a display move into a toss, and you kind of want to practice your tosses. You want it to look pretty good, tossing multiple coins, and you want it to look the same. So when I first start off, I'm trying to work on my timing. I'm practicing my timing. I'm practicing my patter. I do the toss, and that's to say 3-coin mystery, because I want them to see the 3 coins. But I don't want to count them later, which is, again, something that your brain's going to want to do, especially since I'm being repetitive. But the reason why we're being repetitive is because we want to set the audience up. We want to prepare them, and we want them to be tuned in to what we're doing and do it similar. So like if I'm standing up, I'll have my hands in my pockets, right? Because if I'm standing up doing this routine, I want them to get used to the idea that my hands go down here. They go in my pockets, or that I put a coin here. So, or not put a coin here, but that I put my hands down while I'm talking so that it looks normal and natural in that way. So the toss with the patter, 3-coin mystery, doing the count, and saying something like this or just like this, 3 words, 1 coin, 1 word per coin. So when we get back to this display, we've caught the first coin here and in a classic palm, and then we're tossing, once again, tossing the 2. And so, obviously something like this. Now you've got this coin here in your hand, you've just retained it. Now you can either put it in your pocket or lap it so that you can lean forward and really put into effect. And how we're going to do this, because now we're instructing, how are we going to do this? We're going to do it something like this, something like this. We're going to make 1 coin disappear at a time, doing the same exact thing that you just did. Now in this way, I could practice either the Himber count, or I could practice the click, either one from Rick or from Lloyd. So I could practice either one of them. But then this is the Lloyd thing, and this is where I counted. I was like 1, 2, 3. You don't want to do that yet. You just want it to be the same count that you just did. Then this is the Lloyd thing. Then I like to add this bit where he drops the coin 1, 2, immediately bring this hand over. Now with the third one, I just like to disappear there, because that's the hanging coins idea, but it's putting it up into the face. They can clearly see 2 over here. They think there's still a third one here, but if they didn't catch the vanish, if they didn't catch any of that, it's just a simple vanish, because the way that's how Lloyd does it, drops the coins in the hands and then squeezes it to vanish it over here. The way that Rick does it does a simple fake take. So he just pretends to pick up the coin and then vanishes it. So I just opt to do the same thing, toss into the air, it's gone, never to be seen or heard from again. Leaves you with 2 coins. Now you're going to do the same thing again, where you're going to toss a coin. But this time, nothing is happening that isn't really all that magical, because really you're just doing that in order to get the coin over here and to isolate the coins with no magic happening. Just like you did at the beginning when you tossed them. You separated the coins, now you're going to click, toss over to here. And what that does is it gets you into this little move here, which is from Lloyd. So at this point, this is Lloyd Barnes's setup, which I really liked because it isolated it. It didn't go with the David idea, the David Roth idea, or Regal. Again, I say David, just so I don't mess up which one it is, that Rick would do, putting it into the hand here. Because even Rick kind of got away from this idea and did something else in his own routines. So you go to that, and then you're grabbing this, and then you're disappearing over here. It's not terrible, but for what I wanted to get into next, I really like the idea of tapping, run out of coins, tossing over to here. So now you have this beautiful display here, but instead of waiting with the coin in your hand like this, you're just going to simply toss it into the hand here, and then that gives you an opportunity to close your fist and to lean forward again and say, that leaves only one, which all the attention should be over here. They're accustomed to the hand going down to here, one left, toss over like you have been into that hand. Now you're back into this. You got one left. Now you can either do Hamburger Vanish, or you can practice any type of move that you want to do to make it vanish, whether it's a retention. I mean, I would hesitate putting it into this hand and then trying to take it back into this hand and bringing it back over, because now you're just confusing. You want to keep that motion of like, this is the hand that everything is going into to disappear. Gone. So however you want to make that work, that's what you've got to do. However you want to make that coin disappear, you and you and you and you in the back, however you want it to disappear, gone. In order to make it come back, you got to do everything in reverse. Yes, everything in reverse will look something like that. Now we're back to the one coin over here, a magic toss, that gives you 2, and then now, just like that, back to 3. The ending comes in so quick, right? We're going to leave the coins up here as we go back through that in our brain just to keep track with that. So this one is kind of like a joke. You're just making it, you're going in reverse. You're making it come back. Okay, now as you move this coin up, just like you did at the beginning when you had the 2, you bring it up and forward, and you're like, we got to make them disappear one at a time. This time, you're going from here, grabbing this one from either your pocket or your leg, your lap, and you're going to grab it like this. And it could be halfway out. It doesn't matter at this point, because you're going to be so quick that you're going to toss it into the hand. You want the click. So even if they saw, you don't want them to see this. If they see a little bit of that as you're tossing, fine. Because then you're grabbing this one up into a classic palm or into a finger palm as quickly as possible as you toss these into the air. We're going to run out of coins. And now you've caught those. That leaves us with that, and now we're at 2. You don't want to say it leaves us at 2 because you're going back up. Now we're at 2. The same toss that you've been doing the whole time. And you're just doing a regular count, just like that. Boom. 3 coin mystery. So all of those moves in pacing and switching from hand to hand, it's all about just getting all that practice and timing down. Even if you don't perform this, like I'm not ready to perform this piece, but I definitely like the idea of having it for the purpose of just a beautiful moment that for all of these phases that gets you the practice that you need in order to do these things. So we're going to take that and leave it where it lies. And we're going to go into another routine that I haven't really done in a while. Kind of like a coins across idea, right? And what that's going to look like is probably not like that. There we go. So the coins are going to jump from side to side. So now, what we really got to do is we're going to bring this one here and these ones here, and you can see that we have 5 coins because I just flashed that. But that's okay, because all we have to do is a little bit of magic, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. So anyway, we're trying to do this with a shell, but I just remembered that it doesn't work with all the coins because I have 2 different sets. So only 2 of these coins does it. Typically what I'd do is I'd do this with a 5th coin, coins across. Let me go ahead and practice this for you here. This is a Doug Kahn, or something I learned from Doug Kahn. So effectively you're just, again, prepping the audience for the idea to make one of them disappear. Now, my hands are big across this close-up pad, So you almost get the idea that like I'm just sliding them under the hands. But in reality, it's not what we're doing. I mean, it could be. It really could be, but it's not. We're just moving the coins around. Okay, so that's a good practice thing there. But again, that's the thing that, like, I have a blue close-up pad, but the table is too small for it. So I use the small one, and plus I get that blue. Well, it looks blue on camera, but it's purple and green, like the Hulk. So if I get mad at my stuff, I can throw it with rage. Anyway, so effectively, you want to kind of just, you want to be very nonchalant with it because you don't want them to think that there's an extra coin. And that's kind of, again, that goes back to the fallacy of coin magic, which is, or almost the fallacy with anything is you've got an extra thing. But this is a great table coin thing. And if you let your hand kind of hover a little bit with the shadows, it almost looks like, yeah, it almost just looks like you're not really grabbing the coins. And the last one I like to do so quickly. And you can lap it or keep it in your hand for the next thing or however you want to do it. But I like to do that last one, like cover up the here, get these over to here. And I don't like to lap it always because I also like to just grab it into a classic palm, which is why I go so far over when I do this, because I'm getting almost to the edge of the close-up pad, scooping my fingers underneath it in order to push it into a classic palm. Well, just almost like sliding it off the table into a relaxed position before coming back. So that's a good way to do that little routine. So yeah, there's that one. Let's see if we can do this one. It's been a while since I've done this one too. So let's go ahead and practice this one. Getting the dust off, you know what I'm saying? So effectively what we want to do is we want to... can I even remember how to do this one? I don't even think I have enough coins for this one. For this. Let's see. It's the... Let's see. I think you're supposed to start with a coin here. And it's a coins across idea. So you got 3 over here, and let's do 1 over here, something like that. Going to take this over to here. Or maybe it's more like this. That doesn't really make sense. I think it's supposed to be 7. We'll get rid of that one. So it'll be something like this, where you have 1 in this hand, 1 in this hand, and 1 in this hand, 1 in this hand. If you give it a little bit of a shake, that's going to leave 1 over here and 3 over here. Now, for these particular ones that have the sticker on the front, it doesn't do well like these when, like, the joke is when they're black is that, oh, how did you know you switched places? Because they're the same color, they're the same coin. The reverse for that happens here is that if they're paying attention to the stickers, they're going to know they're different. So you always want to do the Super Mario ones there. But then for the next one, let's see. I think you want to do... You put them back in your hand, put 1 over here. No, I don't... yeah, I'd have to rewatch the video on how to do that one. The Soaring Eagle, I think it was called, and it required like all of my coins. So other than that, I really don't have, like, I don't have a solid coin box routine. I do have a couple of things that I can do with it that I really enjoy, but I don't think I'm going to get into that right now because I've kind of, not only have I exposed a lot already, but I've also not done it very well. I think I did pretty good with the teaching, and I do have a firm grasp of some of these moves. That's why we're here. We're having fun. So there's just coins everywhere, and that's why you need to have so many coins. And if the same thing applies to coins as to cards, you're not doing it right unless you're dropping stuff on the floor. So let's just get back into this practice of one coin. I mean, sometimes you just got to practice the drop. I mean, even dropping it here like this, 10 out of 10 times is not going to be perfect. So if you want to throw in a Himber Vanish every once in a while, then you can do that. And then it just looks like an endless fountain of coins with no clicks. So if you had 2 in your hand, like this, you could have 1 in your hand, and you could just effectively, if you did the Vanish properly, but that's the practice point of it, if you really want the click, because you can toss the coin and catch it like that without clicking it, and then it's not going to have the same effect. So you want it to click pretty good. That's kind of the idea that we want to go with that. So let's go through a couple of different palming techniques. So I walk around with a coin in my hand. As you can tell, I practice way more with my right hand than I do with my left. So I'm severely lacking there. So we just walk around with a coin in palm. And this is another Rick Holcomb thing that he teaches, is fairly simply a whole routine that you can do. And that's something that's really nice about his routines, is he does a lot of tutorial, a lot of training exercises, things that you can do repetitively that are circular, that allow you to just continue to do magic and practice the moves to get better and better with them. So this is a simple coin switch that he teaches. So that's something to practice, to get your hands used to the idea of switching coins. Now, typically, is something that I would do. I'd have to look at it again because I haven't done it in a while, but it's basically a coins across coin. What was it? I think it was a coins across. But I would do this move with these coins because you got Bomb-Omb. You take Bomb-Omb and you put them over here, right? I've already done the switch because that's Daisy. So it's a nice little way to do the switch. First thing is you're getting it up to here, tossing it into this hand. Now you can either do the switch that way, or as you're pulling it down, and as this coin is going up, you're tossing it into the hand there. Now what's nice is that if it's down here like this, because again, he does teach, and I haven't done it in a while, so, but he does teach a couple of different moves. For instance, there's one that's like, that's a similar move, so that's not the right one. But it's a move that switches. It is late if you can't tell. But it's effectively a coin switching routine. You have 2 coins that you're treating as one. And I put together a small little routine that I did with these that's like that. Because the one that I learned out of Mark Wilson's Complete Course in Magic looks something like this, which now that I have a firmer grasp on some coin magic, we're going to take this coin, and it's going to go into this hand. As we come around here, you'll see that Rosalina is over here, and now Daisy is over here. So the idea for that particular, and this is out of Mark Wilson, so I'll go ahead and teach it right here. It's in the course book, which is something that I want to take the course book and I want to do it as part of the members right out of the book as a decent course thing for you, and just do some snippets here and there. But let's talk about coins across, and this is a routine that I can actually do pretty solid, adding in some of those new things that I've already been talking about here. The idea is that it's effectively a coin switch. And let's see if we've got some. So So we're going to go with Rosalina and Diddy Kong. Okay, Diddy Kong on the left, my left. Rosalina is on my right. Starting from, and this is also a SpongeBall-esque routine as well, but it's the same principle as doing a switch. So you're going to put the first one into your hand, and you can do that in any retention way that you want. Again, this is something that I've just been learning. So the idea is to simply get this coin into this hand, and now that's over there. You're not going to do it, like you could bring it forward and all that, and that's fine. But I would almost do nothing except for that retention vanish, which is exactly what I just did, which is the face of Diddy Kong as you're closing your hand, and you're simply bringing this hand over to grab this. Now, remember when I talked about the edge grip with Rick Holcomb's exercise, is you want to have something in your hand. So you want to be able to pick something up, which really hides the coin really well in edge grip, because you want to be doing something with that hand. Now you can show Rosalina here. Now this is the part that really gets tricky, right? Because you've got a coin in your hand, and I've just separated it there like that away from the thumb, and you've got this coin that's got to go into this hand. Since you're holding something over here, this is what it would look like, is you're just going to drop this into this hand. Now if you were to drop it into that hand, well, this is an edge grip, it's going to hit it. Well, you might as well rest it right on there, right? Because now you can come over here, they can clearly still see, I believe if there's supposed to be a switch here. So this is the switch part, right? So Diddy Kong is in the hand, Rosalina is out of the hand. So then and Diddy Kong's supposed to be out over here. So you're going to remember that switch I was just talking about earlier? And this is something that I added to it from Mark Wilson's. So this is in edge grip. I would almost, I don't think edge grip really works well here. Finger, because that's the move that you're going to use. You're just going to turn over the coin. So you want to do this with your hand. So it gives it a little bit of a paddle move idea. So now you have the coin flipped over as you're pointing to the other hand. And as you point to the other hand, you drop that coin into it from this hand as you pass over to put Diddy Kong down. And now Rosalina is in this hand. So it is another move that really helps with this overall idea of practicing the backs and forth with timing. So at speed, it looks something like this. Into the hand here. Grab here. You have Rosalina. And then you're going to bring Diddy Kong over here. Yeah, that's Diddy Kong. And Rosalina is actually all the way back here in this hand. Coins across. So that move, is it good still? Like after, I just had to refresh my memory on it. But I really love the idea of this coin pretending to be in this hand. So this hand's doing nothing right now. You have Rosalina here. I really love this turnover move as you come here, but you really want that to be upside down as you gesture to this hand. And then you could almost put that down over here. Maybe if you come back this way and drop it in. I don't know if that would work. But yeah. So there's some coin magic for you to practice. I hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, we're going to wrap it up. Stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.